Hello guys, welcome. Today we are going through the latest updates on Tesla. We will touch on Rivian and Lucid also. Stay tuned and let's get into it. So guys, just a quick overview of Tesla's Q2 2022 delivery numbers. So as you can see, Q2 2022, 258,580 cars delivered. It's lower than Q1 because of the COVID shutdowns in Giga Shanghai. But still a 25% rise year over year. So these are the deliveries broken down to Model S and X, 3 and Y. Also the solar deployed and the storage in megawatts as well. So pretty much all with an increase except for the storage deployed, which is 11% less year over year. Storage and service locations, mobile service fleet, everything is increased as well, 19 and 33% respectively. Supercharger stations up 34%, so it's grown quite fast as well. I'm not going to go in any more detail than this. I have done an in-depth review of Q2 2022. I'll leave the card in the corner. Please check it out if you're interested in more in-depth review. And we are going to go on to the highlights of the shareholder meeting now. Just before we go, if you do enjoy this type of content, please hit the like button. This is gonna help the channel massively. Thank you so much. Okay guys, so just gonna go through the Q2 shareholder meeting with Elon Musk. Just gonna go through some of the key highlights.
This is one of the cleanest exponentials it looks like one of those sort of, business plan presentation things that doesn't actually come true, but you see it in the venture capital business plan situation. But it's actually true. That's the amazing part. And we're told, you're never going to make money, etc. And we didn't for a while, but now we have the highest operating margin in the whole industry. I think we might get close to, or we'll get approximately at the 1.5 million mark, and be exiting the year at a 2 million unit run rate. And then also worth noting, just recently in the last a few weeks, we made our 3 millionth car. So, yeah. EVs are electric vehicles taking a market share from gasoline cars. So, yeah. And from a Tesla standpoint, we obviously welcome this, and we're very excited to see that the big car companies are embracing electric vehicles. If you were to rewind their press releases to 5 years ago, that was not the case. They were, not saying nice things about electric vehicles five years ago. But now, I believe almost every major car company in the world has embraced electrification and agrees that it is the right path. And this is really what we set out to do with Tesla. It was not to get maximum market share or anything. It was really try to to show the auto industry that it was possible to go electric, and that if you made compelling electric cars, people would buy them. And that's what's happened. And I think that's really profound. With respect to, sometimes we get this sort of, these bogus attacks of EVs are somehow worse than gasoline cars, which is not true. The average life cycle emissions of an EV are dramatically lower than that of a gasoline car. I'm kind of telling you things you already know. But, every now and again you think, surely this nonsense has been put to bed, but it pops up again. But it's obviously an electric car is just dramatically lower CO2 lifetime than a gasoline car. Now this is a thing that I think is super cool. If you add up all the energy produced over the last 10 years by Tesla solar panels, it is more energy than was used to manufacture all of our cars and charge all of our cars at superchargers and at home. This is lowest probability of injury of any cars ever tested by the US government. We update this in real time, so because our cars are connected, this is a big difference. All the other cars, with rare exception, are not connected, so the manufacturers don't really know what happened in a crash. But in the case of Tesla, we are able to look at crashes and see how can we improve the safety and the crash structure. Also, we improve how the seat belts tension and how the airbags deploy. So in these updates, if we figure out, oh, there's a slightly better way to deploy the airbags to improve the safety in a crash, we'll actually do an over-the-air update to improve the way that the airbags deploy or the way that the seatbelt pre-tensions. And we're now starting to include Tesla Autopilot AI to be able to see if a crash is about to occur, and if it sees that a crash is about to occur with 99+% probability, then it will activate the seatbelt pre-tensioners and deploy the airbags, as opposed to what the vast majority of cars do is the vast majority of cars are only able to deploy airbags when the crash is happening. And so that makes the airbag deployment a lot more violent, but if you can anticipate the crash, the airbag deployment can be much better than just impact. So say is that the Cybertruck will be one hell of a product, and it's going to be like a damn fine machine. So yeah, and we're all tracking to be in production middle of next year from this factory. So that we're going to be installing the production equipment, tooling and all. Starting the next couple of months, we'll begin the installation. So aiming to be in volume production middle of next year.
You know, key man risk is a big thing. How does the board think about your succession, and especially when you have, you know, a judge who's going to decide in a couple months whether or not you have to take over Twitter? How would you split your time?
Tesla is definitely gathering a lot of momentum, and we have a very exciting product roadmap that will last a long time. Now, obviously, execution against that roadmap is difficult because these are not simple products. They're not copies of what anyone else is doing. They're new things. But I intend to stay with Tesla as long as I can be useful. You know, I can be most useful, I think, on the product design and manufacturing. So basically factory design, sort of manufacturing optimization. And we do have a very talented team here. So I think Tesla, you know, would continue to do very well even if I was kidnapped by aliens. or went back to my home planet, maybe. But you know, I'm definitely working as hard as I can, and I'm very excited about the future of the company. And you know, I think it's got a very bright future, even without me. And I'm not leaving, so to be clear. So.
So guys, just a couple more things to be noted. So Model Y is tracking to be the highest selling vehicle this year. Also, new factory announcement to be made this year about the next factory location. He also mentioned that the future forecast is 10 to 12 new factories in total. Okay guys, so this is another article from Electric from August 8th. Tesla secures a deal for 5 billion worth of nickel in Indonesia, says official. This is enough nickel to make multiple millions of cars. That just goes to show that the company is trying to secure huge contracts to acquire raw materials in order to increase their volume production. Okay guys, so just going to quickly go into Lucid. So first quarter earnings release, they have delivered 360 cars in Q2 2022 with 4,700 employees at that time, 5.4 billion in cash and 185 million capital expenditure. And then looking at the latest update, the second quarter update, they have produced and delivered 679 cars. So the total production for the first half of 2022 is 1,405. Now again, this can't even be compared to Tesla. They are just starting out. It's just the beginning for them. Added on extra employees up to 5,600, down on cash to 4.6 billion, and their capital expenditure increased to 310 million. Also worth noting, installed production capacities at 34,000 units. They are reducing the 2022 production guidance to 67,000 vehicles only. So looking at Rivian produced 4,401 vehicles in Q2 2022, which is much more than Lucid. Now I don't really compare two of these to Tesla because they are over 250,000 units. So it will be interesting to see if this gap is going to widen or narrow in the future. To summarize, it is great to see Tesla make progress and achieve their targets, but it's also good news to see some other companies starting to produce electric cars, as this accelerates our transition to sustainable energy. However, it is worth noting that Tesla is the only one making profit on their cars at the moment. The rest of the industry is burning through cash and selling at a loss. It is the most difficult part to ramp up production and do it without going bankrupt in the process. So only time will show who will cross the mountain and survive. Therefore, I would be wary in investing in these companies until they can prove themselves in mass production. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this content. If you want more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and leave a comment. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end, and I'll see you on the next one.